Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you all for taking time out of what I know are extremely busy schedules to be here this afternoon. It's my pleasure to welcome you. My name is Barbara Hargraves. I am the current president of Kappa chapter of Alpha Delta Kappa. And before we get started today, I'd like to have everyone recognize our guest of honor, Connie Mazzetta, Enfield's Teacher of the Year, who's sitting right up here in the front. We're very proud to be here today to celebrate with her. And before I have a few opening remarks, I'd like to introduce some other special guests who are with us today. We have with us our superintendent, Mr. Jeff Schuman, who is, I think, standing over in the back. We have our deputy superintendent, Chris Drezick, who also elected to stand in the back. We have some of our members of the cabinet are here, and please let me know if I'm missing anyone. Since retiring, I'm a little out of the loop sometimes on faces and names, so we've done our best, and if I've missed you, please let me know. We have our Chief Academic Officer, Michelle Middleton, here with us today. Welcome. We have our Technology Chair, Guy Barassa, with us today. We have the Math Department Chair, I believe, at Central Office, Diana Labick. Okay. Have I missed any members of the cabinet who snuck in? All right, thank you. In addition, I see two Board of Education members here. There may be more, but I've seen two. Mr. Tim Neville, who's back here. Also my former principal from several years ago. And Mr. Peabody, Mr. Ray Peabody is here as well. Did I miss any other Board of Ed members? We thank you all for coming today. We really do appreciate you being here. In addition to those people, I know that we have some former Enfield Teachers of the Year who have joined us today as well. If you are a former Teacher of the Year and you're sitting, would you stand? And if you're not, would you wave? Because there are several here. We have Kate Fothrop, we have Charlene Loria, Charlotte Zenzik, Guy Barassa, Dale, Gregoire. I knew your first name, I couldn't think of the last, and I apologize for that. Mary, Mary Almeida from last year is here as well. All right. And we thank you very much for coming as well. Thank you so much for joining us today. I'd just like to tell you something very brief about Alpha Delta Kappa, and then Charlotte and Terry, our immediate past presidents, are going to come up and fill you in on our mission and a little bit of our history. But Alpha Delta Kappa is an international honorary organization of women educators. We were started in 1947, so this is our 68th year of being an organization. And those of us who are involved in Alpha Delta Kappa are very proud of all that we have accomplished over the years. Kappa chapter is one of 16 chapters in Connecticut, but one of 13 chapters internationally. We have approximately 33,000 members. In 1986, Kappa chapter decided, as part of our Founders Month, which we celebrate in October, where we honor our founders, we decided that we would honor educational excellence by recognizing the Enfield Teacher of the Year. And since 1986, we have each year for 29 years, this being our 29th year, had a ceremony for the Enfield Teacher of the Year. And we're very happy to do that and very proud of that long history that we have. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce Charlotte Zenzik and Terry Merrick, and they will fill you in a little bit more on the history and the mission of this organization, Alpha Delta Kappa.
Good afternoon. Before we begin, I just want to point out that Barbara was also a former Teacher of the Year, so. Good afternoon. Alpha Delta Kappa is an international honorary organization of women educators dedicated to educational excellence, altruism, and world understanding. ADK was founded in 1947 by Agnes Shipman Robertson, Marie Neal, Marion Southall, and Hattie Papino. These women saw a need to recognize and support the professional efforts of outstanding women educators. Headquartered in Kansas City, Missouri, ADK has more than 1,400 chapters worldwide. Locally, our chapter is known as Kappa Chapter.
The installation of Kappa Chapter, the name that we have here in Enfield, took place in 1973. Our first chapter president was Pat Griffin. Our local membership has supported scholarships at Assunta Community College, Enfield High School, and Fermi High School. We've also donated to a number of local programs, including the Enfield Food Shelf, Enfield's First Readers Program, Loaves and Fishes, the ERFC After School Program, the Enfield Public Library, and Hawk Wings Book on the Move program.
The month of October has been designated Founders Month for Alpha Delta Kappa. One way, as Barbara mentioned, the members of ADK Kappa choose to celebrate this month is to honor an outstanding leader in education. Today, we are once again very excited to be able to honor Enfield's Teacher of the Year for 2015-16, Mrs. Connie Mazzetta. Congratulations. At this time, we'd like to call up Connie's principal, Mr. Jim Graham.
Thank you. Okay. So I have this big, long speech, but I'm not going to go with it. So thank you for coming today and celebrating this great achievement for Connie. I think that what I'm going to do is skip the first part because I'm going to get choked up. I'm just going to read the letter that Mr. Drezik received for the nomination. And hopefully that will tell you a little bit about Connie from my perspective. So, Mr. Drezik, I respectfully submit the Enfield Teacher of the Year nomination for Connie Mazzetta. As principal of Hazardville Memorial School, I've had the opportunity to work with Mrs. Mazzetta in her capacity as a preschool teacher, as well as her role as a board-certified behavior analyst for the Enfield Public Schools. She is impeccably professional, highly knowledgeable, and an invaluable resource to the entire school district. Because she has a positive impact on students' social, emotional, and academic success in her own classroom and in classrooms throughout the district, I believe she is a strong candidate. So thank you. It turns out that everybody else thought you were too. Connie's work not only touches the kids here at Hazardville Memorial, which is wonderful, but again, it's district-wide. She's all over the district and does, touches the social, emotional, and academic success of kids all throughout Enfield. So, congratulations.
Hi, I'm Meredith Neiman, and I am a colleague of Connie's at Hazardville Memorial, and I am a past president of Alpha Delta Kappa, Kappa chapter. And I would like to present you, Connie, with your piece of the plaque, because we have, for a second year, we have the Teacher of the Year at Hazardville Memorial School. So I'd like to present you with your piece of the plaque for Teacher of the Year.
Thank you. All right. At the risk of sounding a little bit like an Oscar winner, I feel I should use this platform to thank several people. First, I need to thank the wonderful women of Alpha Delta Kappa for this plaque, or this piece of a plaque, and this lovely reception. There is a saying, if you want something done, ask a busy person. And if you really want something done, ask a busy woman. And so I thank the busy women of ADK. I also want to thank my colleagues, Jim Graham and the Teacher of the Year committee members, for the unexpected honor of the nomination and the conferring of the Teacher of the Year award. I am humbled by the opportunity to represent the highly educated, hardworking, and talented teachers in this school district. The award came as such a surprise to me because for most of my career, I have worked with a small population of very young children, the vast majority of whom have autism or other significant disabilities. I've always believed that my students are incredibly valuable members of our community and our work deeply meaningful. But our work, being carefully protected by confidentiality, has always seemed quietly important and somewhat unnewsworthy. There are no robots being built. There are no essays being written. And so, for the most part, we appeared to fly under the radar, seemingly unnoticed by most of the district. But now, because of this award, I suddenly find myself on the pages of social media, as well as the Current, the JI, and the Enfield Press. My job, my picture, and my age printed for all to see. I believe this award validates the value of my young students and the importance of our work. And for that, I am incredibly grateful. I used to have my own classroom, but now I have the distinct privilege of going in and out of several classrooms and working with many children and educators during the course of a day. I feel so fortunate when I'm doing the work of teaching side by side with open-minded teachers interested only in student success and with truly remarkable and tireless paraprofessionals. You know who you are back there. These educators open their classrooms to me, endure my observations and data collection, and work with me to collaborate and design individualized educational environments that ensure progress for children with highly unique learning needs. As a result, I have observed instructional excellence time and time again, and for that, I am also incredibly grateful. Good teachers are not born, rather we are made. I entered this profession somewhat accidentally, out of a love for children and from happy memories of my own teachers and school experiences. However, when I became a mother, see that big guy? When I became a mother, shortly after my career started, the vital importance of education became personal. I hoped for only the best teachers for my children. And so how could I expect anything less from myself? I wanted to be the kind of teacher I would want my child's teacher to be. My education was certainly pivotal, but I really became a better teacher because of my colleagues, many of whom are right in this room. I will never forget the day when an educator for whom I have deep respect told me that working with me made her a better teacher. Well, of course, she did the same for me. And like any good teacher, I have learned abundantly from my students. One way or another, the children will always let you know if you're not getting it right. And I want very much to get it right for every child. And lucky for me, someone noticed. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Connie, for those inspiring words. So much of what you said I firmly agree with. There's nothing more important than the teacher who's standing in a classroom. You can give out as many computers, as many books, as many papers as you want, but it's the teacher who's inspiring those children and who makes those children feel safe and secure and happy every day. So I did not know you before today, but I'm honored to have you be our Enfield Teacher of the Year and to represent all of us currently teaching and all of us who are retired from the Enfield school system. I know that you will represent us well. And thank you so much. Now it's time for our celebration. So we do have some goodies and we don't want to take them home and we don't want to eat the extra calories. So we definitely want you to help us do that. So please feel free to mingle, to chat, to wish Connie well, to check with any one of us as far as Alpha Delta Kappa goes. If you have any further questions about who we are, we thank you very much again for joining us this afternoon for this very lovely ceremony. Thank you.